I gotta do this again.
Midnight each day.
On Valentine's night.
Time as you know it freezes.
20 minutes past 10.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Thinks we're gonna smother her in her sleep.
I'm a grave digger, Doctor.
I was at home.
David is my husband.
All on my lonesome.
Stabbed him with a steak knife.
Nothing changes.
I'm a qualified angel of death when I'm dancing.
You get this day over and over.
Hilda, I don't think she's got long.
And Laurie just...
Naked on the...
Anna.
Is that it for today?
I'm sorry about that, my stream got cut off. It makes me so mad when that happens. I don't know how...
I was at Henley Church. They had a service that ran right up till midnight. For us less fortunates without a love in their life. Well, now. Do you have someone, Doctor? Do you have a love in your life? Keep him safe. You never know who's going to come knocking on your door. I hate when streams get cut off, seriously. God. It makes me so mad. Ugh. I'm so mad right now.
So, should I get a solicitor, or shall we try and talk it out with him? Good choice. I'll go and see Ben to see if I can get him to call off the dogs. I have no idea what's gotten into him. Perhaps it's his mum. Hey you. Thanks for helping me with this grief thing. I'm not sure I have it though. I don't really know where to start. I feel a bit numb. Maybe we should just talk about him. It hadn't even been a year. He was a quiet, solitary man. A good listener, as I suppose you'd need to be. His confidence did grow as time wore on, but that's what you'd expect after you've fitted in. I mainly miss our chats. He used to work late with me and tell me things about the patients, things that I probably shouldn't have heard, but did. What do you think of the patients?
Haha, bestie.
Perhaps you shouldn't say. You can ask me. Go on, I'll tell you what I think. Mariana is a special girl. You know, there's something about her that just makes you want to follow her. Maybe that's what a trendsetter looks like. I think Bryce, I don't think I like him that much. You know, sometimes when things overrun, he's outside waiting for you, and he stares at me as if he's undressing me with his eyes. You know, he's not the first person that's done that, but still, you know, it feels worse coming from him. Claire seems to be shaken by something. You know, I offer her drinks every time she comes in, but she always refuses them. It's as if she just wants to come in, get her session over with, and then run off to do something else. It's a bit rude, isn't it?
Yeah.
Elin seems like a lovely person. I'm not really sure why she's here. Oh, I just want to cuddle Nathan all up. He's such a mess. He's always in the same clothes. You know, he barely talks to me, though. It's the same hello every time. He reminds me of Tom. Tom was a quiet mess, like Nathan. Youngish, in his early 20s. He taught piano, but he did have a strange hobby. Tom liked to base jump. That's basically falling from a huge building or mountain and pulling your parachute before you hit the ground.
Base jumping?
He started to think he could fly. Dr. Dekker tried to talk him out of it, but Tom had to prove his point. So one day, Tom decided to base jump without a parachute. Can you guess what happened? He did die. He was hit by a rock from further up the mountain. He never got to fly. Nathan thinks he knows what his problem is too, but if he's not careful, he'll get hit by that rock.
Huh.
I wish I'd said goodbye. I liked Tom. I never got to say goodbye. I did with Dr. Dekker though, so I suppose that's some closure. Dr. Dekker tried to fire me, not long before his murder, so we got to say what we wanted to say then, and I've got the termination letter somewhere. It's not going to stick, obviously. Professor Alderby and the Trust will overrule it, but it's nice to know what he felt about me.
This is getting interesting.
Professor Alderby is a trustee. Did I not mention that? We'd work late together on all sorts of things. He was preoccupied with finding patterns in patients, trying to find some
Yes,
kind
Bessie,
of
this one.
order. Mainly he was searching for a common experience the patients might have had. That's what led them to his office. He'd study everything, even the referral letters. Yes, letters, parking tickets,
Thanks,
holiday
Bryce.
destinations.
I'm good.
You know, I find those
I have to
referral
restart my
letters.
stream.
He was sure there was a
It
pattern
made me
in
so
them.
mad.
On Valentine's Day, Dr. Dekker had a session with Claire Castleford at 11 and that nurse, Elin, at 3. Everyone else
I'm good.
cancelled. You should
Just
see this
irritated.
place Christmas Eve. I was at home though, so I don't actually know who came in. Dr. Dekker did phone and ask me for Nathan's number, which is a bit strange. She was cuddling him like he was 6. He's 25. Most of the patients are suspects according to the police. Almost all the patients are referred, and some of them are privates, but Dr. Dekker didn't introduce any of them. So you watched the tapes. Ah, gold star for you.
Gold star for me.
It smashed.
Next day.
David hunts,
I can change my skin.
then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients.
I had a hot date
We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did
on
phone
Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number.
There was a girl there.
Am I wrong to keep the locket?
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't I?
He was preoccupied with finding
Photographs.
patterns.
Rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden.
I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it.
Oh, Doctor, you surprised me. Reminds me of Officer Yates. Did I ever mention I had a special friend in the police force? Nah, it's not something you drop politely into a conversation. He's been doing some digging and he's found a couple things. There's a crime scene report that goes into all the gory details and another report that's about a patient you're seeing today, Claire. I'll put them both on the desk for you. And thanks for the grief counselling, by the way. It's really been helping, you know, I'm just... Yeah.
I'm glad I'm here. Huh. It's my job.
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I can tell you're dying to ask me about it. Fire away. That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive. He's buried at Henley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him. David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it.
Yeah.
There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So I fixed him. It was about a week later.
Man.
I brought David back to life. Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible, but only if you're not buried. He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then, you have a chance at resurrection. Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it. I think reanimation is more an accurate term. Like, I'm an evil necromancer raising things from the dead. I think his brain was already decaying during the week that he was dead. Important bits. So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and trying to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's about it. He's your basic Neanderthal. So I have a problem. I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers, which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me. Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder, to lessen my sentence. Because I'm not a killer, but I can't prove otherwise. You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor? Bryce was a pallbearer for David. He's also a gravedigger, I believe. Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult, unless you pay the right people. I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about.
The screen better not
was
cut off
playing
again, dude.
outside.
Seriously, I'm gonna be mad if it does.
A paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon. I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain.
Welcome to the
Or was
two
it just a
people in the
frenzied,
stream.
bloody mess of a murder? Do you know, Doctor?
Sorry, my stream got cut off earlier. I don't know why. Freaking Wi-Fi.
At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him. I just stabbed him a bit. And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life. Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane? I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that. Let's have a few more sessions before you seal our fates. Or is it that you want something else? Like Dr. Dekker did.
Let's see. Let's see.
Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my electability. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once, he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl. He told me he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house, just for me, and he asked me to reanimate her. It was Iris. I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem. So I agreed. I just played along.
Welcome to the
I
two
was hoping
people.
it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real.
Hey,
But he was
Trophy.
offering me what I wanted. A temporary
this stream got
insanity
cut off
diagnosis.
earlier, so I gotta do it again.
It didn't happen. Dr. Dekker called me from his house to cancel. He was furious. He said that Iris had escaped, and he blamed me for it. He said that I must have set her free after he told me about her. I knew it was all lies anyways. He was obviously titillating himself by reprimanding me. He knew I'd never want to speak to Iris again, so I couldn't prove it either way.
It makes me so mad.
Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house.
I'm fine.
He
How
saw
about
that I
yourself?
was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor? Very well. In our next session. You tell me. What could possibly explain that? I assure you, David is not a ghost. I've touched him.
You haven't slept on you for a few days?
Since I brought him back,
Wow.
I felt that there was something different about him. Something not quite right. I think it's his brain. But how ludicrous that you can bring someone back in the first place. It's like that book, Pet Cemetery. Funnily enough, he does smell of earth, but that's because he spends most of his time out hunting. If David doesn't exist, then that means that I really did kill him. He really is buried, and I really should be going to prison for a very long time.
Oh.
That
You
just
are?
doesn't
I can't
seem
do
right
that.
to me. It's more probable that I reanimated him under Dr. Dekker's guidance. How astute, Doctor. Yes, I did say I hadn't seen Dr. Dekker outside of our sessions. That wasn't a lie. Our trip to the lake house was made during a session. I didn't speak to her this time. Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands. I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
Okay.
Hello, Doctor. I've been thinking about our
Who's
last
nuts?
session,
Claire?
and I just wanted
Yeah, I
you
think
to
she's
know
nuts
that
too.
I'm not a bad person. I know taking naked photographs is wrong. But you don't know what it's like until you face the same temptation. I'm assuming you don't know what it's like.
No, I don't, because
Do you
I'll...
have an extra hour, Doctor? Thank God for that. There's someone else in my hour. A hooded figure. Watching me and following me.
He's nuts too, let me just say that.
I followed it too. Dr. Dekker frequently used that paper spike on his desk as an example. I'm sure he did it with the other patients too. He'd make me look at it, touch the point to see how sharp it was. He'd tell me that because I think it's sharp, it will hurt me. But if I thought it was nothing, it could pass right through my hand. I don't know who it is.
You're more insane.
My initial thought
Nah.
was that it was you. That I told you about my affliction and somehow you'd got it too. Now I think maybe it's the military or some organization that wants to use the hour themselves. Maybe it's Dr. Dekker risen from the dead. I need to talk to you about him. I'm surprised I haven't been approached earlier. I mean, my skills in the military. Special ops would be a breeze, wouldn't it? Waltz in past everyone during the midnight hour, get whatever you want, and return to friendly
You're
soil.
not insane, Trophy.
It also makes me think that they might already know all of that, and that they want to get rid of me in case I tell anyone else. Would you do something for me if they get me? Would you tell Jessica I love her? She didn't really know me that well, but I did love her. And also, there's a hard drive in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet.
Crazy.
Please destroy it. Please, don't look at it. I spied on Dr. Dekker not long before he was murdered. I'm not sure I should tell you what I saw in his basement.
How crazy can you be, if you don't mind me asking?
I'd been feeling uneasy with Dr. Dekker for some time. I mentioned how he'd changed before, so I began spying on him at home. One night, the basement door was open, and Dekker was returning upstairs. I skipped past him, and there she was, a girl. It was difficult to tell. It was dark, and she was chained. I removed the chains, dressed her, and sat her in the police station. There's no evidence, though. No evidence of what he'd done. But she was free. I saved her. I'm not evil. I destroyed evil. I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered.
And how would I know that?
I do remember her face. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed agitated. Her husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy. I remember because aft port side sprained his ankle. That and he wasn't lifting correctly. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave. He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off.
I believe you.
Whatever it is that's following me, it doesn't want to catch me yet. If I move towards it, it runs away. And when I follow it past temptations. A bar brawl, an open till, an open bedroom window. Like it's testing me.
Professor Warwick, I'm a physicist. Where's Dr. Dekker?
A professor now?
Is he really?
You're a professor of what?
Dead?
Being a nutcase?
Not a worthy adversary after all, then. Dr. Dekker challenged me. He tried to use my theories against me. Quantum theories. Do you really want to know? Dekker's eyes used to glaze over whenever we talked about that. He didn't believe in quantum physics. As if it's something that you can optionally believe in. Well, it started with an experiment. Have you heard of quantum suicide, Doctor? Well, then I'll be brief. According to the laws of quantum suicide, if I were to shoot myself now, then one branch of my timeline would result in my death, whilst the other in my continued existence. I simply applied that logic to something different. Gambling. I set up an experiment whereby I would visit a casino and place a very large
Trophy, what are you going to do
bet
tomorrow?
at the
Any plans?
Now, I would always bet on odd. Now, the results of this particular experiment were mundane. I won as many times as you would expect according to the laws of probability. But then, I changed a parameter. Why not gambling? My wife, Vanessa, left me for a neurosurgeon. She emptied our entire combined wealth into her barrister's wallet. I needed more money. Physics provided me with a solution. We were married for 14 years, 7 months, and 3 days. Vanessa couldn't have children, at least that's what she told me. She grounded me in reality. I'm not complaining. It's probably what I needed. But part of me always thought that one day I'd achieve immortality through science and we'd be... It wasn't to be, though. Well, yes, it bothered me, especially now that I find out that she's pregnant. Oh, no, it wasn't a rocket scientist that was required, but a brain surgeon, it seems. I have considered putting that neurosurgeon onto his darkest timeline, but I'm not a killer, it would seem. Quantum suicide required a loss of life to make it a realistic thought experiment. So I simply upped the stakes. Every time I bet on odd, I would place everything I had on that one spin of the wheel, and it worked. Well, for a while. Dr. Dekker killed it, and I can't get it back. Well, my theory, quantum gambling. If the stakes are high enough, you will win every time by simply shifting your consciousness into that branch that wins. It's tricky, but it can be done. Dr. Dekker didn't like that. He saw me becoming rich and powerful, and he hated that. That's why he proffered the hangman's paradox.
Welcome to the 2 people in the stream.
Well, imagine a judge sentences you to death. Now, it will be Monday or Tuesday next week. But it will be a surprise. Well, which day do you think you'll be executed? If you're still alive on Monday at midnight, then Tuesday won't be a surprise. But if you're sure that it's Monday, then that won't be a surprise either, will it? Dekker tricked me. He told me that sometime in the future I would lose a bet, that I would lose all of my money. Now, this didn't seem likely because I had quantum gambling on my side and it was working. But he unnerved me. He made me doubt myself. And then it happened. Recently, I lost everything that I'd managed to build up since Vanessa left me. Honestly? Well, I think he feared quantum physics. He didn't like things being explained in terms of science. Almost as if he'd have preferred chaos.
Chaos.
I was at a fundraiser for a charity called Mind Stretch Outreach. Don't know how I got roped into that, I can't remember. But it was full of very clever children with bizarre outlooks on life. And Jaya. It was Jair who asked me to go. He's full of poor kids with very capable minds. I did give them a talk on quantum tunneling once, and they loved it. Not sure it'll put dinner on the table for any of them, though.
I'll eat around 7 or 7:30. Not right now. Not that hungry.
Oh, you're going to have to Google that, Doctor, I'm afraid. I'm not a walking Wikipedia. I'd love to tell you, but I am paying you by the hour. Maybe look up Schrodinger's cat whilst you're there. Oh, she's Dr. Dekker's lovely assistant. I imagine she's your lovely assistant now. Yeah, she always smiles and makes me a cup of tea before a session. That smile. Which reminds me, my session. Can we talk about my problem now? I'm not a gambler, Doctor. I'm a scientist. I need more money. It's true I've run out of money for my research. An opportunity has arisen. Quantum gambling. It's a pet project. It's got nothing to do with work. But if I don't have significant amounts of money to lose, then there won't be enough jeopardy for the experiment to work. A very wealthy group of individuals have offered to pay me a very large sum of money if I attend their next private soiree. They don't want to talk or anything like that. They want a practical demonstration. They'll pay me £1 million if I can successfully survive 6 rounds of Russian roulette. Now, I am worried because of what Dr. Dekker said, but, well, I can't help but thinking that the stakes are so high I can't possibly lose. What do you think, Doctor? Should I take them up on their offer? Splendid. I can't lose, Doctor. Let me demonstrate.
Yeah. Nice. Committed suicide.
I've told you all I know about Dr. Dekker. He started out good, then turned a bit crazy towards the end. When you start giving people more problems as a therapist, that's a bit crazy.
Indeed it is.
I started out with depression. Now I seem to repeat days. Even if you don't believe the repeat days, then I clearly have extra mental health problems that he's given me. I think that he possibly cursed other people, a bit like he cursed me. Sometimes you could see he was bursting to tell me about it, but he couldn't. He was ecstatic with power. Ah, the curse. Well remembered. I was hoping you'd forget. It's going to sound crazy. Dr. Dekker said I would never be able to move forward until I came to terms with my grief. And so from this point on, I start to relive the same day over and over again until I made something of it. I believed him. I didn't want to believe him. I remember I said, you can't just say things and they happen. He laughed and laughed. I think he was going mad.
Gone mad.
He said he'd give me a demonstration. He held his hand outstretched and told me to look at the flame. There was no flame, and then there was. He was holding a flame in his hand that had come out of nowhere. And he tried to hypnotize me to make me forget it. I didn't forget seeing the flame. He wanted me to forget it all, but I didn't. For whatever reason, he couldn't undo what he'd done. I was scared. I pretended like the hypnosis had worked. I was scared what Dr. Dekker would do to me if he found out I still knew, so I had to play along, keep coming to the sessions, pretend I hadn't seen what he'd done. It was awful, because I was suffering through the same days over and over again, but I couldn't talk to him about it, because he'd know. I burned Hannah's rocking chair. The day moved forward. It was a good choice. I'm not sure I've got much left of hers now. I've burnt most of it, or given it away, just to make the days move forward. There was a moment when I was attacking a Salvation Army bin, but I gave in. I accidentally put Hannah's diary into a Salvation Army donation bin. They're like huge post boxes with a circular tray that makes sure things spill to the bottom. I tried to get in to get it back, but I gave up. I read the last few weeks of Hannah's diary a while ago. I must have accidentally dropped in some clothes for the Salvation Army bin. It's funny, because I wasn't going to read it. She said she'd fallen out of love with me, that she was going to break off the engagement, that she didn't love me anymore. I regretted it.
Wow.
I regretted that I mourned for Hannah so long. I regret the grief. I regret all the days I slept through because of it. Had I known she didn't love me anymore, things would have been different. I'm a bit angry now. If I had that day over again, I may just still pull out in front of the driver. I didn't notice Dr. Dekker had a paper spike. I haven't really seen more than a foot in front of me since Hannah died. Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore? And thanks for the dating advice, by the way.
Let's see.
You told me not to look for anyone else until I was ready. So I didn't. I've just been sitting at home, reading Hannah's diary.
Sitting at home?
I ordered a pizza. A nice girl delivered it.
Yeah.
He'd become bored of me.
Sitting
so I
at
got
home
much of my
doing
insight
your
from
ex?
calls or messages
God, who
he'd
does
take during
that?
our sessions. I think because he hypnotized me, he didn't want to play with me anymore. So I got basic therapist. He told me lots of people get depression. To become more active, see more people.
Depression,
and
I
although
get
he
that
wouldn't
too
always
sometimes.
be there to listen, Jaya would be. Jaya was a great listener. Much better than Dr. Dekker. I think she would have made a great psychiatrist. Do you know, he tried to fire her. Yeah, he fired her. Jaya told me about it. You should ask her. It took a week of days to get that pizza girl to smile. And you know what did it? A tip, as much as the pizza cost. So money does make you happy. I didn't kill Dr. Dekker. I wanted to be as far away from him as possible. I don't know who did.
Dr. Dekker used to put my checks on that thing. I guess someone thought they weren't getting value for money. I actually don't have
Welcome
a
back,
lot of
bestie.
money. Sometimes a therapy check would bounce, but Dr. Dekker would be okay with it. Oh, my checks are fine though, don't worry. I'm not broke. Men buy me drinks at bars though. Sometimes I'll get away with
Welcome
not
to the
paying
2
at
people
restaurants.
watching to the stream.
Isn't that how it is for everybody? I mainly like drive-thrus. I don't like crowds, and I find it difficult to stay in the same place for too long. I guess I'm a fidget.
Huh.
Crowds at nightclubs and bars are different. The lights are dim. You can slink around without attracting too much attention. Sometimes I'll kiss a guy in a club, and then he just follows me wherever I go. It's creepy. I don't want everyone seeing that. They
Hey, Strange.
follow me
Long time.
wherever I go. Anywhere. Where do you think they follow me, Doctor? It depends where they follow me. If they follow me home, they bang on the door for an hour or so, then leave. Other places, they just disappear. I don't see them again. They don't just disappear into thin air. I think they return to the place I found them. But I've not
Yes,
run into
you,
the same
bestie,
person
you.
twice.
Talk about you, Paula.
You've got a good memory, Doctor. Let's talk dreams. Sometimes I'll dream
This game came out like
about a
last
lot
month, I think,
deep
if I
in
remember.
the ocean somewhere.
Strange.
I head towards it because it's warm and glowing.
Yeah, she sees ghosts.
Beacon. When I'm at the bottom, it's the most beautiful thing.
This game's confusing sometimes,
Like
but fun
a
and
welcoming
interesting.
sun. Like I'm home. And then I wake up. It's so beautiful. It calls
She
me.
sees ghosts. Strange. I'm not sure what she is.
It's like I'm in a trance.
It's confusing, this game, but it's interesting.
What does the dream mean, Doctor?
It's British, yeah, like what she said.
Yes, I suppose I follow that glow like
No,
people
PS4
follow
Strange.
me. I still don't know what it means, though.
I gotta move this.
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. It's rent day, and I always feel a little blue on rent day.
She's not a ghost, Strange. She's not a ghost.
Rent day is the day I pay rent to my landlady.
She's not a ghost. That's all I know.
I've had no blackouts, and I haven't been to the beach since our last session. But I think I will today. Do you want to come with me to the beach? Doctor, I think you're getting a little anxious. If you ever wanted to visit the beach, you can just turn up. It's not mine.
She has a job, Strange. I know that, because it'd be pretty weird if you can't pay the rent without having a job.
It's just good manners to accept when someone offers to buy you a drink. I'm a very good-natured girl.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Don't you think I'm sweet, Doctor? I think you're falling for me, Doctor. Don't let that get in the way of helping me.
Huh.
Yes. They follow me home.
It is an interesting game.
They're silent.
It's not that bad. That's why I got it. It's interesting.
There was one guy. A real gym buddy. I let him into the bedroom, but nothing. Nothing I did would stop him just staring at me. It was creepy. I got him to follow me outside, and then I just shut the door. Are we still talking about him? And I thought you were just interested in me, Doctor. Dr. Dekker suggested home visits. I think he was probably checking up on his investment. You're not thinking of doing home visits, are you, Doctor? That's good. I'm not sure I can afford any more of your time.
It's true then. I'd heard Dr. Dekker was stabbed, but I didn't know for sure. It's weird that whoever did it would choose the paper spike.
This game.
Dr. Dekker used to play with it in our sessions sometimes. You know, pick it up, handle it while we talked. I remember once, he pushed the
By the way,
spike
Strange,
through
how was
his
your day?
skin. At this bit,
Sorry if I
here,
didn't ask.
between his thumb and his finger. He said he didn't think I'd mind the sight of blood, being a nurse and all that, but actually, there wasn't any. I was a bit freaked out. At first, I thought it was a trick. A magic trick, you know? Like some kind of therapeutic test.
Good to
Show
know.
the patient this retractable spike and see how they react.
Are you getting stream anytime
It
soon?
wasn't. The
And
spike
if you do,
was
what game?
real. Dr. Dekker gave me the paper spike to try.
Okay, just let me know.
It wasn't fake.
If you do
It was
stream, I'll probably
pretty
catch it.
sharp,
Depends.
actually. I don't know how he did it. He said he just thought that it wouldn't hurt him, so it didn't.
Why do you get nervous? If you don't want me asking.
I'm fine. Work's fine. Hilda's fading fast. Terry's Terry. Oh, you'd be pleased to know I don't have the locket anymore. I gave it back. All of it. Every single
I might stream tomorrow, bestie. I'm not sure yet.
Hilda's nearing the end.
Oh.
She's been sleeping a lot.
Well,
Not eating much.
it's
She
okay.
hasn't been that argumentative either.
No, you're not an idiot, Strange.
She did give me a vicious scratch yesterday. It was nothing. I was just trying to give her meds.
Your commentary is pretty good, Strange. I gotta admit that.
It's hard, you know. I'm trying to help her, but she keeps fighting me. It'll be better after she's seen her daughter. I've decided I'm going to do it tonight. She hasn't got much time left.
1v1 of... Oh yes, I remember 1v1.
You know the answer to that, Doctor. What have we been talking about? What can I do for Hilda that will make it all better? Seriously? No, that isn't what I meant. That's the plan. I know. It sounds unbelievable, like I'm making it up. I wish I could prove it to you somehow.
Yeah, she might kill her.
We could try shifting now. Think of
You never know.
someone you really love. It might help if you close your eyes. Are you thinking of them? Can you picture them? Okay, hold on. Sorry, I don't think it's going to work. On the bright side, that probably means you're not going to die anytime soon.
She's nuts. Cray cray.
It's tricky. I mean, I'll sound exactly like Hilda's daughter, but I try and keep it vague because I don't become her. I don't know what she would really say. I say things like, it's okay, don't be scared, I love you, Mum, or I love you, Dad. But it doesn't really matter what their relationship's like because it's not really them. I always do the Disney version. The best, most loving version. That's what my patients want to hear. And maybe deep down they know it's not the truth, but
You think she's nuts? Just
it's
wait
got
till
to
you
be
meet Claire.
better than the reality.
She's the one who's nuts, in my opinion. Yeah, best. We still gotta do a 1v1 whenever you're ready.
Does it really matter if it isn't the truth? Isn't it worth it if it brings them peace? Tell me honestly, Doctor, do you really think that what I'm doing is wrong? Good, because I really feel this is something I have to do. You told me to. Well, not in so many words, but you said I shouldn't have kept them. And what with Terry going around telling everyone I stole them, I didn't feel like I really had
Same
any
to you, Strange.
choice.
Have fun with dinner, wherever you're making.
The watch,
Have a good day and night.
ring. But I kept the little bird Sarah Dekker gave me.
Send me some food too while you're at it. I'm not sure what you're cooking, but it's probably good.
Dr. Dekker's mother. She was one of my first patients, but she died a while ago.
Wow.
Terry seems to have backed down since I gave the keepsakes
Dinner.
back. Actually, it doesn't seem like she's been very well. Not her usual self. Maybe she's got a bug or something. As far as I know, it only works on people who are close to death.
Yep, dinner's good.
That's the whole point of it. I have to hold their hand, and they have to think of the person, and they have to be near death. And those seem to be the 3 criteria. It just makes things complicated, doesn't it? I knew Dr. Dekker's mother before I started seeing Dr. Dekker. She's dead, and now he's dead. I'm sure you're going to have a field day with it. Yeah, that's the reason I came to see him. I knew she was dying, but he refused to talk to me unless I booked a session, so I did. And well, here we are. I told Dr. Dekker that his mum was dying, that he should see her before it's too late. But he wasn't interested. It wasn't like he hated her. It was just like it wasn't important. He asked me to take care of it for him. He did send his assistant along to see her once. Sorry, your assistant. It was about the 2nd, 3rd session we had. He said he could tell that I was a good person, that I wanted to help people, and that I should think really hard about how I could do that. That's how I discovered shifting. All Dr. Dekker did was encourage me to think. But the shifting, that's all me. And my mum's a psychic, and my
What did you eat for dinner, bestie?
But I was just ordinary. I always felt like I wasn't special, like I was missing out. But I wasn't. I just hadn't discovered what I could do yet. Sarah Dekker was one of the first ones I tried shifting for. I didn't really know what I was doing that first time. I mean, I didn't actually expect anything to happen. I just thought, what would really help this woman? I thought maybe she would just imagine that he was there. But it actually happened. I changed into him, Dr. Dekker. It blew my mind. My mum's got these spirit guides and they tell her things. Mostly about my love life, it would seem.
Empathy.
To tell you the truth, I don't really know what an empath is.
Empath.
I should probably
I
Google it
pronounced that wrong.
I split the brawl up.
Thanks, Willie. Oh my god, you serious?
I did nothing. I'm not stealing any more. I looked in. Watching other people is somehow built into our genes, Doctor. There was an old woman in bed. I went inside. Her bed covers were smoking. I think she'd fallen asleep holding a cigarette. I took the covers and put them in the bath. She'd have died otherwise. And no, I didn't take any pictures.
Take any pictures? Yeah, right. Creepo.
Jessica is a beautiful woman. I've not spied on her since the incident we talked about. I have real feelings for her, Doctor. We've never connected.
Good thing you didn't, because you're a creep.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. It's nice you think I'm capable of such basic interaction with females.
Interaction?
But I'm still in awe of her, really. I will think about it, though. I put my hand through a rusty nail at work today. It hurt like hell and bled like I'd been shot. I closed my eyes and thought, this isn't happening. The nail is just a worm, and it will wriggle through me. When I looked back, can you guess what I saw?
Blood?
When I looked back at my hand, it was healed. Look, see? My hand had healed. The nail had become a worm and was wriggling in my palm. It was like a little miracle, like magic. I shouldn't really say miracle or magic. They're words that Dr. Dekker used when he tried to get you to think things and make them real. But do you think it's real, Doctor? That magic is real? Then so it is. Close your eyes. Imagine you're in a graveyard, looking at the gravestones. One catches your eye, so you take a picture of it, a picture that you now have.
Interesting gravestone.
I find using nautical terms to describe the position of pallbearers fitting. Plus, most of them are 3 sheets to the wind. You know, drunk.
3 sheets to the wind. Yeah, I like that saying.
I'm fine. I'm ready for my grief counselling. I emailed you Mariana's address. I don't know why you'd want it. I suppose you're going to start doing home visits now, like Dr. Dekker? Doctor, if you don't want it, don't text me and ask for it. It's all right. I don't mind doing menial tasks for you. Someone has to do them. Yes, Dr. Dekker started doing home visits for Mariana. He said she couldn't concentrate properly in his office. I hope you're not thinking of doing the same thing. I need you right where I can see you. Checks and balances, Doctor. Somebody needs to be watching the watchman, so to speak. Make sure you're helping, not hindering. He probably did his fair share of helping and hindering. He was definitely helping in the beginning, but then seemed to lose sight of things. I think he was so overwhelmed by the patients he was getting. His curiosity just got the better of him. There was a definite turning point. Somewhere around the time Professor Alderby turned up, that seemed to unsettle him. And then we had a flood of extra weird patients. I think it was all too much for him. I think I misjudged him. I hope you deal with it better.
How are you?
Grief is such a strange word if you keep saying it. Grief, grief, grief. It sounds like somebody's being whipped. And you're going to ask me how I feel today?
How are you?
I think that's all settled now. We are agreeing to pay Ben £5,000 and he's agreeing not to say anything about what he saw. He thought he saw a creature coming.
The game is called The Infinite Madness of Dr. Dekker.
But at least that's the reason he's given for not emptying the bins that night. Either way, it's not the kind of publicity that we need.
If you're asking for the title
Shiny,
of the game.
happy, sane people. It's in that police report that I gave to you. You should really take a look at it.
It's a murder mystery, actually.
I honestly think that you're curing me with all this grief counselling. You know, we don't really have to talk about Dr. Dekker from now on if you don't want to. We had a connection, but it's gone now.
How was your day, Box?
Dr. Dekker asked me to have dinner with him for Valentine's. I refused, obviously, because you don't sleep where you eat or something like that. But it was flattering, especially with competition like Mariana around. Sorry, I didn't mean I was competing. I was happy Mariana was going out with him. I didn't want to be romantic with him. We had a stronger connection than that. Dr. Dekker and I shared some philosophy. We'd both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind, and we agreed with a lot of what it said. Have you read that book, Doctor? In Cult of the Kinetic Mind, the author suggests that everyone is capable of psychokinesis and that the cult leaders specifically had these powers that turned their followers into disciples. It's not a fun read, but if you're into psychology, it's a blast.
I'll try to.
Psychokinesis is the ability to change the physical world without actually touching it, just by using your mind. It's not just about bending spoons. It covers all sorts of things like telepathy, telekinesis, telesabalas. Shoot me, I'm a Kojak fan. Like I said, all those cool things are in Cult of the Kinetic Mind, apart from Kojak, obviously. If you ever get a patient who thinks they can change the world with just their mind, then duck. Just in case they can. But seriously, do a whole load of shrinking and make them better. Whether you believe in psychokinesis or not, you'll need to figure out your approach with those that do. How do you make people who think they have special powers better? Do you remain passive and support? Encourage them, take them away.
Okay. Let's see. Be passive, encouraging the power, move the powers. Be passive.
Things could escalate. Building trust is one thing, but at what cost?
Seven o'clock already. Oh, I'll probably be eating dinner soon.
No, not at all in my experience. Dr. Dekker had an unusual number of patients who claimed psychokinesis. Either he'd been specifically looking for them or someone had been sending them. It's entirely possible that someone is targeting this practice with psychokinetic patients. To what end, I don't know. It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are diagnosed as insane, or at least temporarily insane. It's a handy diagnosis if you're facing criminal prosecution, especially if it's for murder. I didn't go out for Valentine's. I was at home. Wait. Actually, I did come up to the office at about 9. I'd forgotten a USB stick that had some files I was working on. Honestly, I think Dr. Dekker had a bit of a crush on Mariana, or vice versa. I'm not really sure. There's some footage from their home sessions if you want to see them. That was a joke, Doctor. I guess we found our level. Oops, that was a strange thing to say, wasn't it? Whipped. Am I all whips and chains in the bedroom or dominant in the boardroom? Don't answer that, it's not a question. It's early days for a harassment suit yet, what with Ben's nervous shock already. Dr. Dekker did send me to see his mother once. She was dying in a nursing home and he didn't want to see her. I remember him calling her a manipulative, evil old hag. I tend not to ask any more questions after that.
That old hag part.
I was a bit of a shoulder to cry on for Nathan. He told me a lot of things about Dr. Dekker that I probably shouldn't have heard, and I'm not about to repeat to you either. Why? What did he say about me? I can work from home if you want me to. Is that what you're asking? There's lots of bookkeeping to be done. You'd be surprised. You can stop looking at me like that. You've made me do this. And don't try and escape. You're all tied up. Now tell me the truth. Is this a dream? That's the wrong answer, Doctor. This is most definitely a dream. Now, tell me, do you believe that people can have kinetic powers? And how do we treat people with kinetic powers? Do we encourage them or do we discourage them? Oh, Doctor, how disappointing. We've been through this already. Encouraging them to use their power just makes them worse. That's what Dr. Dekker did. Look at him now. I thought you were different. Oh, I thought we'd get on, but I'm wrong. Enjoy your sleep, Doctor.
Wow.
There's someone else in my hour.
I brought David back to life.
I removed the chains, dressed her.
It was Iris.
We could try shifting now.
Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Sorry.
We both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind. I'm not broke. It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are
Grateful if you could see your way to declaring me
insane, or at least
temporarily insane.
There was no flame. And then there was.
I'll kiss a guy,
I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
and then he just follows me
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore?
wherever I go.
You may just still pull out in front of the driver.
Morning, Doctor. You're looking a bit unwell. Are they getting you all wound up? Well, have a look at this. I found it in Dropbox. Apparently, Dr. Dekker lent Mariana some money. Sounds dodgy, doesn't it? I also got the toxicology report back from Officer Yates, and shocker, Dr. Dekker had... Sorry, you just have to read it. I should have spoiler alert tattooed on my forehead. And can we not do the grief counselling thing today? I'm all sorts of behind on work and I'm getting more stressed out watching it all pile up. If you need anything though, I'm here.
What's temazepam? Why are you asking? I don't take sleeping pills. Never have done. When you suffer blackouts already, you don't really get offered anything like that. I feel thirsty, Doctor. And hot. Do you have any water? I've been drinking a lot of water recently. I didn't go to the beach. I didn't go to the sea. I said I would, but I didn't. I've been feeling this way for a while. It's like it's getting worse because I didn't go to the sea. It's like I'm having... I don't feel well. I feel sick most of the time, dizzy, thirsty. I got a head fog like you wouldn't believe. My doctor, Dr. Rose, sent me for blood tests. Dr. Rose thinks maybe I have a vitamin deficiency. I can tell she has no idea. She smiles, but she hasn't got any answers. I think I probably need to go back to the beach. The sea, Doctor. It's calling me. This sounds crazy, but I can hear the sea. It's like an alarm going off in my head. Do you know where the sea is? From here? It's over there. Wherever I am, I know exactly where the sea is.
Okay.
It's like a compass. I have this recurring dream.
How is Daybox? I'm not sure if you're still here or not.
I'm at the beach. I strip and walk into the sea. The sea feels warm and comforting. Not cold and harsh like you'd think. I swim down to the bottom of the ocean. I can breathe freely. I can breathe water. On the ocean floor ahead of me, there's a beautiful creature. A glowing being with wispy limbs. It's so warm. I'm transfixed. But my feet shift. I'm unsteady. Below me, the floor is woven in human flesh. Dead bodies, but some of them still struggling for life. These are the ones touching me, gripping my feet. I scream. That's when I wake up. Do you have that dream, Doctor? It's horrific and beautiful at the same time.
Let's see.
It's a dream, Doctor. Stranger things happen in dreams. Do you forget anything from our sessions, Doctor? People follow me to the beach. I don't know who they are, and I don't know what happens to them. I don't always get followed, though, so it doesn't explain my blackouts. I said I don't know what happens to them. It's not always to the beach. Sometimes they follow me home. My home is in Chantry. You know that. You rang my doorbell last night.
I did?
I don't know. I didn't kiss you, but you just followed me, like the others. I don't feel comfortable here, Doctor. I'd like to leave. He lent me some money to start my business. It was a proper agreement. I remember signing things. He thought that a distraction would do me good. I don't think he expected me to trawl the beach for treasure and sell it online.
This is getting bizarre every minute, dude, seriously.
Dr. Dekker thought I had too much time on my hands, so a distraction would do me good. He lent me 15,000, all in all.
15,000. Wow.
I hear a sound like singing, calling me. It gets stronger when I face it, when I move towards it. That's how I know where the sea is. But when I don't go to the sea, I feel like the sound gets louder all the time. I'm having trouble sleeping. Perhaps I need sleeping tablets after all. I've seen Dr. Dekker drink, but not that much. Certainly not during our sessions. He had other things on his mind.
Welcome back again, bestie.
Sure. If you say so, it must have been your twin then. I don't know if I have a twin. Do you have a twin, Doctor?
Oh, I thought you left.
You're teasing me, Doctor. But it was you. I saw you. No, there's been no dancing. I haven't been feeling that well, Doctor.
Oh. In the background doing what?
He's the cute, sad-looking one, isn't he? He asked me out, and I said I'd let him know. Do you think I should go out with him? Okay, but if he goes missing, don't go looking at me. You said it with such a serious look on your face, I almost believed you. It would be good if you had some kind of superpower that helped me, but I don't think so. It's a referral letter, Doctor. Don't overthink it. A girl can't be too careful with everything that's been going on.
So you're looking in the background then? Maybe I'll do one more.
I don't want to talk
Last
about
one,
grief
guys.
today. I'm getting enough grief from work.
Not session,
I
guys.
don't know
Now
if
stop
you
it.
know, but Professor Alderby used to be my professor. He teaches history and psychology, amongst other things. I know it's not technically work, but he asked if I would allow him to have the video footage of his sessions with Dr. Dekker. Dr. Dekker wanted to be removed from all of the videos, so it's jump cut up to jump cut, but I'm sure you've already noticed that. I didn't think you'd mind, since it wasn't your case anyway. Mostly it's the professor talking about how he viewed reality back then, in so much as he thought it was changeable. There's nothing else to do but watch while things are encoding. Psychokinetics, remember? Cult of the Kinetic Mind? Professor Alderby said it was recommended reading to help psychiatrists in their frontline battle with insanity, he likes to call it. Professor Alderby saw the relationship between psychiatrist and patient as a winnable battle. The patient must be cured by removing, if present, either by telling them it doesn't exist or by using another psychokinetic ability to negate it. It's a long time ago, I can't remember all of it. There was a specific example. If someone tells you they can fly, you tell them you control air currents and that from now on they won't be allowed to use them. This would normally stimulate the brain in such a way that the patient stopped thinking they could fly. The main danger as the therapist is believing that you can control air currents. The danger of pretending you have psychokinetic abilities is that you may start believing you have them and then have them. It's the paradox of the cure. Dr. Dekker loved paradoxes. His favourite was the grandfather paradox. If you can travel back in time and kill your grandfather, then you cannot be born. But if you cannot be born, then you cannot kill your grandfather. It's a time traveler's chicken and egg, if you will. I'm on temazepam to help me sleep. If you mix it with alcohol, it's a bit trippy, or sometimes it can make you sleep forever, so I try not to do that. Temazepam is a sleeping tablet. It helps you sleep. I thought I had sleep apnea at first, but it's probably stress. If you worry about not sleeping, you end up not sleeping at all. True story. Some people would say Dr. Dekker had a bit of a drinking problem. It got worse and then it got better when his confidence turned up. I think it was the stress of dealing with the new patients. I like the odd tipple. I've been known to drink, not as much at the moment, not as much as Dr. Dekker did. He kept at least one bottle in his desk drawer at all times. You can't imagine the amount of times I wanted to sneak in and have some. I suppose it's possible that somebody spiked his drink. Most people probably knew he had a bottle in his desk. Wouldn't have been that hard to empty out some capsules into it. Maybe the police should get fingerprints? I'll go and suggest it. Make sure nobody touches the bottle in the meantime. I have no idea. Maybe he was an undercover secret agent. Maybe he was getting more annoying as time progressed. Is this a good time to ask for a raise?
A raise?
Wow, I was kidding, but thank you, Doctor. I'll take that as a yes.
Hey, of course.
Don't worry, I'll sort it all out. Dr. Dekker definitely dabbled in that stuff. I'm not sure to what extent. I like Professor Alderby. He turned me onto that book I've been raving about. The Cult of the Kinetic Mind. I should start selling them myself. Dr. Dekker told me he was adopted. His birth mother only turned up 5 years ago because she wanted money for her experimental cancer treatment. I'm not sure how much it cost or even if he had the money, but he didn't do it, and she became one mean mother. There's a lot of stress in here. We're dealing with people's lives. How do you relax, Doctor? I love video games. I just wish they'd make ones with stronger female protagonists. Sorry, I'd settle for any female protagonists.
Female protagonists. Yeah, same here.
I bet you like dance music. I don't know why.
Relax by eating. Yeah.
I love food. It will be my downfall. Stress eating is the worst.
Oh yeah, stress eating. You want an agreement? What's going on, Nick? Toxicology reports.
Mariana thought I played hockey. Whatever that's supposed to mean.
There's no lake house today, sorry.
Last one.
David's not doing very well. He's caused a problem with the girl. I need to do something. The little girl, our neighbor at the lake house, she says David is weird and creepy.
Doctor! Oh, sorry, but I found some of the referral letters we were talking about. There is a pattern, but it's not the same for everyone. He said to get them to you ASAP, so here you go.
David has been hunting and skinning again. But from the look of the torso, he caught a domestic cat. I'm being generous. It was definitely a cat. I spoke to David about it, but I have no idea if he can comprehend me or not. He just grunts at me. He doesn't even smile anymore. Not at all. Yes, sorry. I left out an important detail. The girl, Anushka, she was crying because her cat had gone missing, and she thinks that David killed it. Doctor,
what kind of pizza did you get? If you want me.
I'm worried that David's not going to stop at cats. He's killed deer, rabbits, wild birds, and now cats. I'm worried he might add little girls to his list. I can't stop him. I can't stop him. I can't control him in any way at all.
Nice.
Ever since I brought him back from the dead, he has done nothing but ignore me. I'm starting to think that...
I want some pizza now myself.
that I need to put David out of his misery. That I need to end his suffering. That I need to kill him again. What shall I do, Doctor? Should I kill David? I love him so much. But you're right.
A lot of things.
It's time. He's becoming a danger to people around him, not just himself. I've never used sleeping pills. I'm too afraid of what would happen to me in my sleep. If Dr. Dekker was an alcoholic, he hid it well. I never saw him drink. He certainly never offered me a drink. God knows I could have used one. I never talked to Bryce, but I did talk to Iris. She didn't want to at first. She blames me for David's death, but as we both know, that's not a thing. Anyway, she said she was never locked up in any basement and had never heard of any Dr. Dekker. So it's, as I first suspected, a lie. You didn't make all of that up so I'd talk to Iris again, did you? Oh yes, here. From a few weeks ago. As you can see, Doctor, he looks perfectly normal. That's despicable, Doctor. I think I'm starting to warm to you.
Right there. Hold on.
Dr. Dekker was very quiet in our sessions after seeing David. After a while, he started talking about David like he was a pet, asking me what I fed him, what he'd do in certain conditions. I think he was fascinated with it all, and David and I had become new test subjects for him. When I said David never listens to me, he urged me to start giving David treats for pleasing me.
Send me some pizza, Strange.
Not in that way, but showing him how to close a door.
I got you myself
for
after
example.
this
If
session.
he did it, give him a treat. It did actually work, but I had to stop myself. I felt like I was training a monkey. It just wasn't right. Dr. Dekker asked me if I'd ever accidentally locked David in, which I hadn't, but curiosity got the better of me, so I locked him in the lake house. He couldn't get out. He didn't have the wherewithal to operate the lock. That's an interesting idea, Doctor. It's not really something that needs to be done, though. I have no intention of reanimating anybody anymore. It hasn't gone very well in the past. My solicitors did refer me, but I ended up going privately as it was cheaper. I'm paying them enough already without them getting a percentage of my therapy bill.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop this stream here. I'm gonna eat some dinner. So if you wish, you can hit the like button and support my channel. I'm getting close to 500 subs. I mean supporters, I mean. And with that, I'll stream tomorrow. Depends. So with that, have a good day, night, and weekend ahead. And with that, I'm out. Peace.